Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about 2.5, solving with ratios and proportions. I want to remind you with all our videos, you should be taking notes while you're watching the Edpuzzle and pausing and actually trying the problems. So ratio and proportions. A ratio is a comparison of two numbers by division. Ratio of x to y can be represented as x to y, x colon y, or x over y. Ratios are usually expressed in simplest form. An equation stating two ratios are equal is called a proportion. To determine whether two ratios form a proportion, I can express them both in simplest form, or I can check cross products. So example 1, I want to determine if 24 over 36 and 12 over 18 are equivalent. So I'm going to do 24 over 36, and I can simplify that by dividing numerator and denominator by 12, which gives me 2 over 3. 12 over 18, I can divide numerator and denominator both by 6 in that case, which gives me 2 over 3. So yes, they are equivalent. On number 2, I'm going to use cross products. So I have 10 over 18 equals 25 over 45. So to check that using my cross products, I'm going to multiply 18 times 25, which is 450. 45 times 10, which is 450. So 450 is equal to 450. So the answer is yes. I want you to pause the video and I want you to do questions 1 through 9. It is important that you're actually pausing and trying the problems and then come back and check. So hopefully you've paused and tried all those. So number 1, when I cross multiply, I got 32 equals 32. So it's a yes. 2, I got 75 is not equal to 80. So that's a no. 3, I got 490 is not equal to 500. So that's a no. 4, I got 60 equals 60. So that's a yes. 5, I got 225 is equal to 225. So that's a yes. 6, I got 0.09 is equal to 0.09, which is a yes. 7, 10 equals 10, so that's a yes. 8, 180 equals 180, so that's a yes. And 9 is 420 is not equal to 240, so that's a no. Solving proportions. If a proportion involves a variable, you can use cross products to solve the proportion. In the proportion, x over 5 equals 10 over 13. X and 13 are called the extremes. They are the first and last terms of the problem. 5 and 10 are called the means. They're the middle terms. In a proportion, the product of the extremes is equal to the product of the means. So to solve that proportion we were just talking about, I'm going to multiply the extremes and multiply the means. So I'm going to do 13 times x is equal to 5 times 10, which gives me 13x is equal to 50. And then I need to divide both sides by 13. And then x equals 50 over 13, which if I reduce that fraction, I get 3 and 11/50. I am fine if you leave it as 50 over 13. Not 11/50, 11/13. Sorry about that. But I am still fine if you leave it as 50 over 13. So now let's solve a couple more together, and then I want you to pause and solve the rest on your own. So I'm going to solve number 10 and 13. Now, number 10, there's a negative there. So it's important when there's a negative that you keep that negative only in the numerator or denominator. So I'm going to do negative 3 times 8 is equal to 2 times x. That's negative 24 is equal to 2x. I divide both sides by 2, and negative 12 equals x. 13, it looks much more complicated, but it's really not. I'm still just going to cross multiply. So I'm going to do 4 times 12. But since in my denominator I have b minus 2, I need to multiply 4 times parentheses b minus 2. Whenever there's more than one term, I put it in parentheses when I cross multiply. So that gives me 48. And then on the right side, I need to distribute. So that's 4b minus 8. I add 8 to both sides. I get 56 equals 4b. I then divide both sides by 4. And b equals 14. So I now want you to pause and try 11, 12, 14, and 15. Okay, so hopefully you completed all of those. 11 is t equals 3/5. 12 is x equals 10. 14 is negative 2 equals y. And 15 is a equals 78. If you have any questions on any of those, please let me know tomorrow during class. Now we're going to do some word problems. So it says Josh finished 24 math problems in 1 hour. At that rate, how many hours will it take him to complete 72 problems? So we're going to set up a proportion. So we have 24 problems in 1 hour, and that's equal to 72 problems in X hours. Now I used my units to help me set up the proportion because I always want to do the same units in the same position. So I did problems over hours equals problems over hours. When I solve it, other than the X, I am going to forget about those units. So I'm really just going to solve the proportion 24 over 1 equals 72 over X. I'm going to cross multiply, that's 24X equals 72. Divide both sides by 24, and X equals 3. So he's going to need 3 hours to finish his 72 problems. Number 17. Stevenson's Market is selling 3 packs of toothpicks for 87 cents. How much will 10 packs of toothpicks cost at that same price? Round your answer to the nearest cent. So again, I'm going to do the same setup. Generally, when we're doing proportions, it's money per how many. So it's 87 cents for 3 packs is equal to how much money over 10 packs. So again, I'm going to ignore my signs or my units, and I'm going to say 0.87 over 3 equals x over 10. I cross multiply and I get 8.7 equals 3x. Divide both sides by 3. And it's 2.9. So it's $2.90. When I'm writing money, it's important that I put 2 decimal places. And then that's it for today's video. If you have any questions, please note them and bring them to class.